Lewis Hamilton has just extended his contract for one more year and will earn a staggering $35 million net. But do you know how he actually manages his fortune? The businesses he owns, how he multiplies his money. If you've always wanted to invest like Hamilton, but no one ever broke it down for you, this is your video. Don't miss it. Subscribe just to stay tuned for the Formula One news no one else explains to you. The entire Formula One world seemed to pause for a moment, jaws dropping across team motorhomes, pit walls, and corporate boardrooms alike. Lewis Hamilton, whose mere presence electrifies any paddock he walks into, has just inked a contract extension with Scuderia Ferrari that guarantees his services through the 2027 to 2028 season. It wasn't just a piece of paper, it was a statement, a thunderclap that roared across an already stormy landscape of F1 speculation. With the ink still drying, a million conversations erupted simultaneously, from Monza to Melbourne, from the executive suites of Ferrari's Maranello headquarters to the garages of rival teams who had dared to dream that Hamilton might be on the verge of retirement. The entire narrative around his future has been obliterated. Gone are the whispered theories about him walking away from the sport to pursue full-time business or activism. Gone are the conjectures that he was emotionally disengaged or physically worn down. Instead, what remains is pure defiance, a legend refusing to let time write the final chapter. Not yet. Not even close. What's even more seismic than the extension itself is the price tag attached to it. €35 million net for a single season. Let that sink in. In a sport where every millisecond counts, and every dollar is weighed against performance data, Ferrari has made a monumental bet not just on Hamilton's driving abilities, but on his aura, his brand, and his capacity to galvanize an entire organization. He's not just a driver. He's a global institution. And Ferrari, a team with both sacred history and immense pressure to return to glory, has decided that Lewis Hamilton is still the man to lead them. Some see it as a business transaction. Others view it as a torch being carried higher. What's certain is that Hamilton's signature wasn't about comfort, it was about hunger, legacy, and unmatched ambition. At an age when most athletes are either retired or riding the twilight of their careers, Hamilton is renegotiating the narrative around what longevity and relevance truly mean. But if you think this story stops with racing, you're missing the entire forest for the trees. Hamilton's move is not just strategic in a sporting sense, it's a power play across multiple domains. The man who once walked into the paddock as a boy from Stevenage has now transformed into a one-man conglomerate, commanding boardrooms with the same poise and precision that he once reserved for overtakes at Eau Rouge or Suzuka's 130R. His fortune isn't just sitting idle in vaults and spreadsheets, it's in motion, fueling ventures that redefine how a modern athlete engages with wealth, impact, and innovation. The Ferrari deal was merely the latest domino in a carefully orchestrated sequence. Behind the scenes, financial advisors, legal teams, sustainability consultants, and tech visionaries are all part of an empire that is constantly evolving, fluid, adaptive, and obsessively forward-looking. And that €35 million? A launch pad, not a prize. In the days immediately following the announcement, Hamilton quietly finalized the acquisition of a sprawling eco-resort on the cliffs of Portugal's southwestern coast. Overlooking the Atlantic and draped in olive groves and native pines, the location is serene, yet its vision is anything but passive. The property is being developed into a first-of-its-kind, AI-integrated wellness complex, where guests will not only unwind but engage with futuristic tech experiences grounded in environmental consciousness. Think biometric sleep optimization, self-driving shuttles powered by solar fields, high-performance training simulations based on F1 telemetry, and even hydrogen-powered infrastructure. It's a masterclass in brand alignment, combining Hamilton's identity as a sustainability advocate, a technology investor, and a performance icon. For most people, such an endeavor would be the culmination of a career. For Hamilton, it's one of many concurrent layers. And there's more. So much more. While fans fixate on lap times and tire compounds, Hamilton's investment footprint quietly continues to expand. He's now a lead investor in multiple AI startups across Europe and the United States, many of which are focused on ethical machine learning, autonomous systems, and AI-enhanced education platforms. His vision isn't about chasing unicorns, it's about reshaping the way emerging technology serves communities, particularly those underrepresented in the tech space. He's spoken at private summits and closed-door panels, lobbying for inclusive data practices, ethical coding standards, and cross-industry accountability. In tech circles, his presence isn't symbolic, it's strategic. He brings clout, but also insight. His questions are sharp. His expectations are rigorous. He demands both profit and purpose. Simultaneously, Hamilton has doubled down on his philanthropic ventures. While many celebrities launch foundations as vanity projects, his X44 Foundation is aggressively building educational ecosystems in underprivileged regions, combining STEM education with environmental awareness. With roots in communities that are often overlooked by traditional philanthropy, the foundation works closely with local leaders to design curriculums, train teachers, and deploy green tech. It's not about dropping aid and leaving, it's about building infrastructure that outlives the headlines. Every child given access to coding classes or renewable energy labs is another line in Hamilton's real legacy, one written not in trophies, but in futures reshaped. Then there's fashion. Long before other drivers even thought about how their paddock attire could extend their brand, Hamilton was walking into press conferences in custom Louis Vuitton, then partnering with Tommy Hilfiger, and eventually building his own design team. But now, it's no longer about clothes. It's about supply chains, textile innovation, and climate impact. His upcoming apparel line, rumored to drop under the label LH Plus Earth, is said to feature biodegradable fibers, blockchain-verified ethical sourcing, and on-demand manufacturing to eliminate waste. Critics used to call him too flashy. Now they call him too visionary to ignore. And still, he drives. Every race weekend, he climbs into that Ferrari cockpit with a level of focus that belies everything happening off-track. He still studies data long into the night, still challenges engineers on micro-adjustments, still pushes for perfection in a sport where margin for error is measured in pixels. His passion isn't diluted by his success, it's sharpened by it. He's not racing for money, for fame, or even for records anymore. He's racing because it's the crucible that made him, the discipline that keeps every other endeavor grounded in fire and precision. The track remains his proving ground. And in every qualifying lap, every wheel-to-wheel battle, every perfectly timed undercut, he reminds the world that you can evolve without losing your edge. So when you hear that Hamilton renewed his Ferrari contract, understand that it's not just a sports story. It's a global signal. It tells corporations, entrepreneurs, fans, and future athletes that reinvention is possible at any age. That impact and performance are not mutually exclusive. That legacy is a living, breathing force, built moment by moment, deal by deal, race by race. And Lewis Hamilton? He's not writing the end of his story. He's engineering his next revolution. While many athletes eventually seek comfort in post-career investments like real estate for its reliability, security, and incremental growth, Lewis Hamilton has sprinted in the opposite direction, toward the uncharted, infinitely expansive realm of the digital frontier. Real estate might offer safe, long-term gains, but it doesn't scale at the speed of thought, doesn't reshape culture in real time, and certainly doesn't spark the kind of deep emotional connection that fuels a movement. Hamilton's pivot isn't just strategic, it's visionary. He has turned his image, reputation, and life story into a dynamic, ever-evolving ecosystem that grows by the hour, not the year. His personal brand, once confined to podiums and pit lanes, now pulses through the internet like electricity through a power grid, charging up industries, influencing consumer behavior, and setting new standards for what it means to be an athlete in the digital age. From performance we're designed with cutting-edge biofeedback sensors to vegan supplements developed in collaboration with plant-based scientists and nutritionists, every product under the LH44 label is infused with purpose, science, and sleek design. But Hamilton didn't stop at physical products. He went deep into the intangible, into the mindset. His mental resilience coaching apps are not gimmicks. They are immersive digital environments, loaded with personalized tracking, AI-generated advice, and meditative modules built from his own routines. Users don't just admire Hamilton, they begin to think like him, eat like him, train like him, strategize like him. He has transformed himself from a sports icon into a scalable mental operating system. Every touchpoint is integrated through a centralized, data-rich platform engineered to do more than sell. It engages, it adapts, it listens. Hamilton's digital empire doesn't rely on fleeting clicks, it thrives on prolonged relationships. Exclusive content drops, live virtual meetups, behind-the-scenes footage, and interactive challenges keep fans locked in, not for a day but for years. It's not fandom anymore, it's enrollment into a mindset, a movement. Each product sold is a node in a network of influence. Each download is another touch in the relationship between icon and follower. People aren't just buying a hoodie or a supplement. They're opting into a worldview, a lifestyle, a digital tribe curated by one of the most focused and forward-thinking athletes the world has ever seen. And while the merch flies off digital shelves and the apps rack up downloads in the millions, something even more ambitious has been quietly unfolding behind the scenes. In a move that blindsided financial analysts and thrilled Silicon Valley insiders, Hamilton has stepped into the volatile high-stakes world of artificial intelligence. But not as a casual investor or celebrity endorser. He went directly to the epicenter, becoming a strategic investor in OpenAI, the very organization shaping the frontier of machine intelligence. This isn't just Hamilton riding a trend. This is Hamilton reading the future and building a seat at the table before others even realize there is a new table being set. While other investors scrambled for headlines, he was already in deep-dive conversations about how AI could redefine human potential across sectors. Those close to him reveal that his interest goes far beyond the surface. He's personally fascinated with how algorithms learn, how neural networks evolve, and how technology can augment human intuition rather than replace it. He believes AI isn't just a tool, it's a partner, a co-pilot in the journey toward peak performance and personal mastery. The talks he's engaged in aren't theoretical, they're about launching real functional projects that merge AI with his lifelong obsessions: racing, wellness, education, and access. His first major initiative is already generating massive buzz in insider circles, an AI-powered racing simulator platform that democratizes elite motorsport training. Imagine this: no need for a six-figure simulator or access to a Formula One team. All you need is a connection and a will to learn. Hamilton's platform will use proprietary training data, his braking patterns, tire management decisions, overtaking strategies, emotional regulation under pressure, and combine it with adaptive AI to create personalized coaching systems. This is about more than gamifying racing. It's about shattering the barriers to entry that have kept motorsports an exclusive playground for the wealthy and connected. Hamilton's project is designed for the kid in Lagos with a dream, for the teenager in the Bronx obsessed with telemetry, for the girl in Mumbai who studies his lap times like sacred text. It's raw, radical empowerment, delivered digitally, and optimized with machine learning. And behind it all is one man's relentless mission: to ensure that his legacy isn't just gold medals and champagne celebrations, but millions of transformed lives that were touched by a system he built, a vision he lived, and a platform he refused to gatekeep. Lewis Hamilton is not slowing down. He's accelerating into new dimensions of impact, powered not by horsepower, but by purpose, data, and a commitment to bringing everyone with him on the ride. He doesn't just race anymore. He builds systems. He opens doors. He redefines possibility. And the world is only just beginning to understand the scale of what he's creating. Managing a complex financial empire like Lewis Hamilton's is no longer about simply hiring a good accountant or investing in real estate. It's an entire orchestration of intellect, innovation, and intentionality. Behind the scenes, there's a high-performance engine running constantly, just like the one in his Formula One car, but this one's built from data scientists, venture analysts, legal architects, and sustainability consultants. He didn't stumble into wealth. He designed a machine to harness it, refine it, and repurpose it into something infinitely more powerful. Every dollar, every equity position, every crypto holding and social impact bond is treated not as static capital but as a living node in a broader organism that feeds his personal mission and global influence. And unlike most athletes who rely on outsourced trust, Hamilton immerses himself deeply in the process, attending simulations in a custom-built data lab nestled inside a discreet Monaco hillside property. This lab is no ordinary office. It's an architectural fusion of digital futurism and tactile clarity, where curved OLED walls surround his team in an ocean of real-time market data, predictive algorithms, and sentiment analysis pulled from global economic signals. It's where raw finance transforms into vision. Each month, his core financial brain trust assembles, not in suits, but in strategy mode, immersed in digital war rooms powered by AI-generated scenario modeling. Their sessions don't revolve around spreadsheets, they revolve around philosophy. Hamilton doesn't ask how to get richer, he asks how to align profitability with planetary stewardship, social progress, and legacy architecture. Every potential investment is dissected not just for ROI but for its psychological resonance, community impact, and alignment with a long-term worldview that spans decades, not quarters. His team includes specialists in behavioral economics to assess how global sentiment shifts influence investor behavior, as well as blockchain architects who ensure every contract is trustless, immutable, and scalable. Nothing is random. Nothing is reactive. It's a game of proactive momentum, and Hamilton is not merely playing, he's rewriting the rules. Beyond the high-level meetings and hyper-optimized dashboards lies another ecosystem quietly compounding under the radar, his network of passive income assets. These are not just random holdings in ETFs or dividend stocks, they're mission-driven vehicles handpicked through algorithmic scrubbing and human vetting. Hamilton has funded decentralized platforms in developing nations that provide microloans to female entrepreneurs. He's a cornerstone investor in green hydrogen infrastructure startups across Northern Europe, and he's backed stealth mode AI learning environments designed to revolutionize how underserved youth access STEM education. Some of these ventures have already tripled in valuation, yet Hamilton refuses to withdraw profit for personal luxury. Instead, those returns are reinvested, sometimes even into other ventures within the same ecosystem, creating a self-sustaining financial loop that generates value not just in money but in impact metrics and community uplift. His philosophy is anchored in radical patience. While others chase quarterly earnings, Hamilton builds with the mindset of a cathedral architect, thinking in 30-year arcs. He once told a close confidant that wealth to him is nothing more than fuel, it only matters if it powers something worthy. And so, each passive stream is rigorously analyzed for its entropy, its regenerative capacity, and its ability to shift systems, not just margins. This is why even his real estate portfolio doesn't consist of vanity mansions but of smart cities pilot properties, sustainable construction experiments, and urban rewilding zones that contribute to net biodiversity gain. It's all interconnected. It's all intentional. There's also the deeply integrated philanthropic layer that doesn't operate separately from his investing. It operates in symbiosis. His family office doesn't write donation checks. It designs circular economies that loop profits back into social betterment. For example, a portion of returns from his AI literacy startups fund scholarships for the same students who will one day become developers in those companies. It's a regenerative loop, an economic ecosystem designed to empower those it profits from. Even his legal teams are evolving, now employing human rights attorneys and cultural historians to ensure that his global projects respect indigenous land rights and uphold ethical frameworks beyond compliance. This is not the portfolio of a celebrity dabbling in finance. This is the infrastructure of a movement disguised as a financial entity. Hamilton has become the architect of a new model, one where purpose is not an accessory to profit but its prerequisite. And the most compelling part? He's just getting started. Every new meeting, every predictive model, every blockchain contract, every sustainable startup added to the matrix is another layer of intention. And through this meticulous empire of data, purpose, and patience, Lewis Hamilton is doing something far rarer than winning championships. He's engineering influence that outlives him. Social media is no longer just a tool for Lewis Hamilton. It's an extension of his identity, a meticulously curated digital universe where every pixel, every caption, every 15-second clip is engineered with surgical precision to capture attention, spark emotion, and drive measurable outcomes. His team doesn't guess, they predict. They model behavior. They test and refine, pushing algorithms to their limits while decoding exactly how his audience breathes online. From Instagram to TikTok to YouTube and beyond, every post is calibrated to resonate, to stir conversation, to create micro-virality that snowballs into brand momentum. Behind the scenes, there are dashboards tracking scroll-stopping metrics, sentiment analysis bots reading through comments faster than any human could, heat maps showing exactly where the eye lingers. It's not about likes, it's about leverage. And Hamilton has weaponized that better than anyone in motorsport. His stories aren't just glimpses into his life. They're entry points into an immersive brand experience that transitions seamlessly from digital narrative to product pipeline, from fleeting attention to long-term loyalty. People don't just follow him, they align with him. His brand isn't a logo or a slogan, it's a lifestyle, an energy, a movement. But what makes it unstoppable is the fusion of that raw, undeniable human presence with relentless behind-the-curtain algorithmic mastery. Lewis walks into a room and commands it, but online, he doesn't have to be in the room, his influence gets there before him. It's encoded into every campaign, every partnership, every limited edition drop and exclusive collab that sells out in minutes, not days. It's in the way his live streams turn passive viewers into active participants, flooding comment sections with real-time emotion while product links, affiliate funnels, and brand extensions work in the background, invisibly converting fandom into financial upside. It's not marketing, it's choreography. It's the intersection of instinct and data, of charisma and conversion rate. And it's working with clockwork precision. As the world speculates on his future in Formula One, Hamilton has already begun engineering something far more complex than a championship-winning car, a future-proof empire. One where racing is just the launch pad, not the peak. The 2027 to 2028 season might bring another title or a shocking exit, a record-breaking pole or a dramatic final lap. But whatever it brings, it won't define him. Because Lewis Hamilton is no longer confined to circuits and paddocks. He's become a symbol, a signal, a force. He's layered his legacy with intention, embedding values like equity, innovation, sustainability, and disruption into every move he makes. Whether he's in a race suit or a boardroom, whether he's behind the wheel or behind a philanthropic initiative, he's operating from the same playbook: think bigger, go further, and never stop evolving. He's not chasing endorsements, he's creating ecosystems. He's not dependent on media, he's building media. He's not waiting for the future, he's architecting it in real time. Every deal signed, every brand launched, every cause backed is another brick in a blueprint that stretches decades ahead. He's forging a presence so large, so multidimensional, that even stepping away from the grid won't dim his influence. If anything, it will amplify it. Because when Hamilton moves, he brings millions with him, not just followers, but believers. Believers in change, in excellence, in unrelenting forward motion. And all of this is by design. It's not luck. It's not a byproduct of fame. It's deliberate, strategic, audacious. It's legacy building in 4D, combining speed, style, social impact, and business acumen into something no one else in sports has fully mastered. He's taken the thrill of the race and repackaged it into cultural relevance. He's distilled the intensity of competition into the fabric of every venture, every investment, every piece of content that carries his name. Because Lewis Hamilton isn't just leaving a mark, he's laying a foundation. One that will outlive the champagne sprays and the national anthems. One that transforms every second of spotlight into sustained, generational influence. One that ensures he won't just be remembered as a driver, but as a movement that redefined what a driver could become.